Hello and welcome to Round 5 coverage of Grand Prix Rotterdam. I'm Brian David Marshall, joined by Matej Zadelkai. And there you see facing the viewer, the Russian national team. 3 of the 4 members playing against the Chinese national team. And we're going to start on Alexander Semkin versus Ong Lee.
Yeah, and Semkin is the national champion for Russia this year. There's been a change of guard within the Russian playing community, so I'm really excited to see how these guys will do.
Yeah, Ong Lee won a WMCQ to join the Chinese team this year.
Yeah, it starts off with a Thriving Grubs, which is always decent in a black-red aggressive deck.
Ooh, a Narnum Cobra picks up a counter as it comes into play. Let's see, so red-black versus red-green. These are 2 of the more aggressive color pairs in this format.
One big advantage for green that it can have more fatties, more big creatures, which at some point usually the black-red deck stops being able to deal with. So look at that. Thriving Grubs gets through the Narnum Cobra. Let's see what the follow-up is. I wonder how good the Durable Handicraft will be for Alexander Semkin. As Parasite, this is one of the most common starts for a black-red deck. The Thriving Grubs and the Parasite Officer. The quality of red and black creatures is not that big in the early turns, but these are the staples.
You would have liked a Night Market Lookout on turn 1.
Exactly. That's a little better, yeah. Why not? Yeah, more handicraft counters. Building up a nice board here, Alexander Semkin.
Get some energy, too. See what he can do with that later on in the game.
Yeah, unfortunately, both these creatures have really poor toughness, so they don't really are able to trade that well into the creatures of Ong Lee.
Yeah, I love Durable Handicraft in decks where you have like 2 3s.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, or a Thriving Ibex. You know, where you just get your creatures so big that you just creatures can't run through them.
Even like something like a High Spire Artisan is that much better.
It comes into play with 2 counters on it?
Yeah. Yum.
All right. Ong Lee shows no fear.
No fear, no stopping. I mean, he's the one with open mana, so he can represent some tricks here. Some subtle strikes, rush of vitalities, build to smash.
Yeah, all of those could very well be in his deck. But Sage of Salius claim trades with the Infiltrator. And there's Oval Chase Daredevil. We've seen a lot of this card today.
Yeah, and it's been very good. I've been very positively surprised by its performance, and it could match up pretty well against anything that Alexander can muster, but
he doesn't muster anything.
Yeah, it's just weird. And I like how this matchup is the matchup of power over toughness. All the creatures so far in play had more power than they had toughness, considering the format it has a lot of defensive creatures as well.
Attacks. Trades with the Cobra. No need to give it Death Touch. Now, is there an artifact follow-up here? There is. He gets back the Oval Chase Daredevil.
Yeah,
future artifact spells become a little cheaper.
Yeah, the Foundry Inspector doing some value. Nothing again. What is going on?
She has enough mana to sacrifice.
Yeah, but no creatures
durable
anymore.
Handicraft, but no creatures to put those counters on.
Unlucky draw from Alexander, but he might still surprise us with something.
Waiting to make a 7/7 Core Prowler next turn.
Yeah. Maybe something like a Fateful Showdown. Discard 2 more lands, draw some good cards.
Oh. Okay, there's the Syndicate Trafficker.
Looked like he was he's about to pick it up and read it. Okay, in response to the Power Helix. So Alexander did have something at least. He's just making sure that he says it's in response to the Trafficker. Otherwise, Ong Lee could sacrifice to the Trafficker and it would get a +1/+1 counter. Yeah.
Now it comes into play.
It's important to communicate, especially when English is not your first language, and the players managed admirably here.
Oh, I've been very impressed with how many teams meet in the middle on English.
Yeah.
With such an international competition.
That's true.
Even some teams within their own ranks. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, Thriving Grubs comes in.
Yeah, Alexander Semkin really needs a good blocker here, and even then it might not be enough because look at that, more power to the board for Ang
He
Lee.
hasn't played any creature with more toughness than power
No,
yet.
like none of the players has. I like it. Look at the card. Hey, go. Not much I can do here. It's gonna be might be a quick match.
Yes, it is. Well, it's certainly a quick game one here as Ang Lee takes game one. And, not an amazing draw from him either.
No.
The red-black deck doesn't really want to have 7 lands in play on turn 7 there.
Imagine if Alexander Semkin had the Chandra's Pyrohelix in one of the earlier turns. At the point he was dead here, he could have easily been at like 10 more life if the cards had fallen in a different way. I think he might have mulliganed as well because he had just had very few cards overall, and this is what happens sometimes.
All right, now we're going to switch over. We're watching Yin Yu on your right, Alexei Isupov here on the left, and there we see, now we see one of the go-wide artifact decks we've been talking about. But subtle strike, keeping the lore broker alive.
Yep. Remember
taking down one of those servo tokens.
Yeah, remember the servo was a 2/2 because of the Chief of the Foundry.
Yep. Malfunction looks like it's keeping a thriving Ibex tapped. Cogworker's Puzzle Knot threatens to make another 2/2 at a moment's notice.
Yeah, look at that. Yin Lu is playing Bastion Mastodon as a 4/5 without any access to white mana just yet.
Yeah, just yet.
He might have some later on.
So here's a Propeller Pioneer. Makes a token. That's a 2/2.
Yeah, it's still trying to be raised out. You can see there's white mana.
There is white mana in his deck because I see a Cloud Blazer.
Still, Bastion Mastodon just solid on its own. If you need a big creature, then you can have it in a pinch. And if you can give it Vigilance, it's a nice bonus.
Wow.
That's a big guy, though.
Yeah, Gear Seeker Serpent. Seeking to end this game, put the Chinese team up in 2 matches. He has enough mana to make it unblockable.
Yeah, and the swing for 5 is just so huge. And it's nice and whenever even just a small discount is great.
That's it. Alexei Usupov picks up his cards. Going to game 2 here as well. 2 games now, 2 matches here. China is up a game in each of them. We're going to take a look at everybody shuffling, it looks like.
It looks like game 1 ended on table C as well.
Yeah, we'll try to get your result as soon as we go back to our score graphic.
Yeah, some big sideboarding going on here for Ang Lee on the right there. There, it just looks like he's swapping out a significant amount of cards. Maybe I saw this, someone mentioned, I think it was Javier Dominguez, where he has like a black-red aggressive deck. This sideboard, he said, I can go really defensive if I need to.
We've seen that with a lot of these decks. If you end up with all the blue-white cards, or if you end up with all the black-red cards, you do have the ability to optimize your deck in one direction, but you have plenty of cards that just won't make it into that deck.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can have that experience in regular draft as well. Cards that seem decent in main deck, once you play aggressive decks, you can just really make the necessary swap rounds, improve your curve, and just win like that. But also on the other side, when you go up against the control decks, you can really you don't need your thriving turtles against an aggressive deck, against a slow deck. You can just find some good late game. I used to do quite where I like boarding stuff like Tezzeret's Gambit in the late game.
Sure. Yeah, you just want something that's just going to eventually let you just take over the game.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see. Do we have the deck list?
We have the deck list and we have the update. It was
Okay.
Nikita Yurochko who's won game 1 over the Chinese. So it's not a complete domination by the Chinese teams just yet. And speaking of Ang Lee, who was sideboarding a lot, so we saw he's on. It might not be Ang Lee because I see. Oh wait, this is there, huh? This is their deck list. Yeah, there we go. Black red. But he has interesting. He has, for example, Midnight Oil in the sideboard.
Oh wow!
Double Night Market Lookout in black red deck in his sideboard. But I just assume it's because they might not have too many vehicles in the pool overall. Double Brazen Scourge. And there's double Salivating Gremlins, 2 Thriving Grubs. So it looks.
So we thought he could go to a more controlling deck, but maybe he can go to a more aggressive deck.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Can go even lower.
Yeah, he has quite a few artifacts there, but interesting. Yeah, he does have some vehicles as well. He has the Renegade for Sky Skiff and a Beaumont Bazaar Barge, but he's not playing the Lookouts.
Wow.
Which I'm surprised. And he's also only playing 1 out of 2 Spireside Infiltrators.
Interesting.
And I think the Black-Red Drain You deck is actually very solid, so I'm surprised they're not running it. Yeah, his deck is looking solid otherwise, though. Like, the cards are good.
How do you feel about a card like Midnight Oil for a deck like this?
Great. I feel it would be great if he ever got around to casting it. He only plays 16 lands, but having that card as to the top of the curve, especially in a deck like he has,
where you're just going to dump out all these creatures.
Hey, plus he has 2 Welding Sparks and an unlicensed Disintegration as well,
wow.
so like he has the removal necessary. So yeah, maybe that's what he's thinking about. But overall, I don't feel this is not the experienced Chinese team that we've seen over the past year. Li Bo being one of the most famous Chinese players. He was on that national team that won Worlds back in 2009, and he was just a regular at the Pro Tour for several years in that period. So this might be the new era of Chinese players.
Yeah, you see our our other feature match going on in the background, by the way. So that's we have Francesco Cipolleschi, Riccardo Picciafiocchi, and Raffaella Zaccarelli.
Yeah, these names are tough.
Against Matteo Maure, Marco Carmeluzzi, and Alessandro Portaro. That's
a solid match. The Italian mirror match,
including World Magic Cup champion Carmeluzzi.
Yeah. Not qualified this year though, but the Italian team is looking solid again with Mattia Rizzi and Andrea Mengucci.
Appetite for the Unnatural takes out a Sky Skiff before anything untoward could happen. Yeah,
the sideboarding must have taken a long time because this was the last match to finish out of those 3, and they're the first up and running here in.
Whoa, Bristling Hydra.
Oof. That's a rough one for Jurečka.
For the red-black deck to deal with, yeah.
I mean, at least he has some power on the board in the Spireside Infiltrator. But Yu-Chen also gained 2 life. Yeah.
If your opponent ever gets more than, gets to like 6 energy, gets to 2 activations, it becomes almost hopeless to be able to deal with that card.
Nikita has Welding Sparks in hand. I'm just wondering why he didn't try maybe attacking first, but I guess he would just then break into the Cobra with the Spireside Infiltrator and not had a opportunity. I don't think Yu-Chen would have wanted to expose his Bristling Hydra there.
Dund Operative comes down for Jurečka. Oh.
Jeez. Yeah, wow. Nature's Way.
Nature's Way. Bristling Hydra is going to take out the Infiltrator.
And
that's not a fight card. That's the thing that's so brutal about that.
And it gets Vigilance and Trample as well, so not much Nikita can do here in this spot, I don't think.
Card's such a backbreaker.
But now that's a good card for Nikita. He drew a PNLR.
Oh, wow.
He can get an artifact in the form of a Topter and suddenly have a 3/2 operative that can trade with the Hydra. And look at that, Yu-Chen is only down to 2 cards. It doesn't have that much going on. And while Jurečka has Subtle Strike, PNLR, and Welding Sparks, certainly not bad.
Okay. Gets his Thopter eventually.
There we go.
Hiding in the pile of servos.
Servos much more common.
Yeah. It's like searching for a Thopter in a pile of servos. A famous saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Kaladesh saying.
Yeah. All right. In comes the Cobra.
Packing away.
Rich goes at 12.
Yeah,
he's gonna subtle strike here.
Yeah, pump his flyer.
Yeah.
Wants to take it to Yu-Chen Liu.
He can start doing some work with that. He's got the ability to pump it with PNLR.
Yeah. Also has a Foundry's Creature now to follow that up. So he can take it into the air. He just has to make sure that his artifact stays alive. If Yu-Chen ever finds removal for that Thopter, suddenly there's a problem.
And gets in with the operative too.
Interesting. He's just getting aggressive. Let's play your Foundry's Creature and leave up the Welding Sparks too. I think Yurochka just wants to race here. I think he's fine with being in a race situation.
But he can block with the Foundry Screecher here. It's got an extra point of power from the artifact in play.
It's also quite risky. Because now if Yichen Liu uses the ability, goes for Nikita goes for the Welding Sparks, no cards in hand, but here if Yichen Liu had some sort of trick, it could have gone very wrong.
Wow.
But if it goes through, it's a good trade.
It's got something.
So +2/+2 hexproof? No, ornamental courage. So +1/+3. So it's gonna make it a 5/4, and then with 3 more toughness, 7 toughness total.
But it's going to take 4 from the Welding Sparks because he's got an artifact.
Yeah, they should still trade.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a
And he's like,
2 for 2.
You see that kind of wistful, like, oh.
Yeah. Oh well. That's the thing. It was a 2 for 2, but one of the 2 for Yichen Liu was rare.
Yeah.
With a huge board impact, and now just Glensliv Artisan.
Now he's got to decide what he wants. I think he's reaching for a servo. Yep. Oh, accidentally reached for a Thopter. What are the odds? All right.
I'm looking at the Yichen Liu's deck, and
Here's a Prophetic Prism
It's
for Yurechko.
yeah, it's certainly not bad. He's only playing like 1 out of 2 Pima's Outriders because he has 3 Nature's Way.
Oh my gosh.
That's really good in a green deck as well.
You could do like 3 drafts and not see 3 of those.
Exactly, yeah. His deck seems like a solid green-white deck. Cultivator with Blades as the top end.
So the Thopter token starts getting to work. Gets in, gets a little bit of a pump. Here's a Thriving Rhino now for Yichen Liu.
Problem is the air. The Thopter is really bashing in. P and LR doing work.
Yeah, he's able to get in for 5 with it this turn if he wants. You send in the Dund Operative too?
No, not anymore. Yeah, just pump 3 times, take 5. Yichen Liu down to 8.
Wow.
You need to get Yurochka not messing around. And remember, we're showcasing this match because both teams will show up with this lineup at the World Magic Cup. Of course, both have 1 more teammate.
But what I've seen from talking to teams is generally if the 3 members were playing here, they agree that it makes the most sense for those 3 players to then play the team sealed a leg of the World Magic Cup.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, this will be the format of the first 3 rounds of the tournament.
Yeah, Nikita drew in Vengeance Goggles. It's not going to improve the clock that much, but at least he can maybe create a better blocker with the Pia. Have it be a 3/4. Oh, it seems pretty good. He's going aggressive. I like it. There's no good double block for Yichen Liu here, but of course, it also seems unlikely that Yichen has a trick here.
Yeah.
after previous turn. And yeah, there's also, we know Yichen has a 3 Nature's Way, but that's a sorcery, so.
So he just puts the token in front of Pia, and we're going to pump that twice and drop Yichen Liu down to 5 here. If Nikita wins this, that'll be the first match of this larger match here of the set.
Yeah, Nikita, look at that. Yichen Liu just has 2 lands. He just flooded out completely, and now there's also Renegade Fairy for Nikita Yurochka. So.
And he can also just sack his Prophetic Prism and make it so that the
he could, but
can't block, but he just doesn't even need to. That's the hand. So first match goes to Team Russia here. Nikita Yurochka wins 2 games to nothing. Yichen Liu looks at his deck. He's like, "Where were you? Where were all these awesome cards?"
Yeah, he probably sideboarded in some more defensive cards.
Yeah, you see the ornamental courage,
High Spire Artisan as well.
Yep.
Yeah, so he definitely had a lot of options in his sideboard, and so he went with a little more defensive route. But if you draw so many lands, there's not much you can do here. And yeah, the traditional blue-black control with a white splash.
Yes.
Another staple in this Team Seal format. But you can see like the splasher is great. Cloud Blazer and Restoration Gearsmith.
Oh wow! Please tell me the Restoration Gearsmith brought back the Cloud Blazer.
I don't think so. Yin Yu is on 22, so I think there was only one Cloud Blazer activation.
Oh wow! Look at this though. He's taking down both flyers. He's got a tidy conclusion. Propeller Pioneer blocking the Cloud Blazer.
Well, not a bad turn. And Alexei Isupov's board is looking decent enough. Like he has the Mastodon and the Ibex.
But we've reached the Prakata Pillar bugs bouncing off of each other to gain life phase of the game.
At this point, it's probably better for Alexei. Oh, underhand designs.
Yeah, underhand designs. He's got at least 2 artifacts in play. He's got 3, actually. So he can kill something if he needs to.
That's why I'm surprised he didn't attack with the Mastodon. Suddenly, it's probably either killed it on operative before combat and try to attack. But there's just so much toughness. I'm just really not used to seeing so many preacher toughness after the last games we've seen. So, yeah.
So Dunda operative is going to trade with the Prakata Pillar bug here.
I'm sure Alexei Isupov is quite happy about that with 2 bigger creatures on the battlefield.
Oh, we see a subtle strike in hand.
That card has been
Just
really
spectacular.
good. Yeah, for such a what looks like a small effect.
Like, okay, I'm going to kill your.
Oh.
I'm going to kill your. Oh.
No. It was on the board.
Yeah, it's going to get the underhand designs. It's going to pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, and I think it was the creature that he wanted to destroy anyway.
Right, and the subtle strike still does manage to kill the servo for Yin Yu there.
Oh, look at Alexander Semkin and Ang Lee are going to go to game 3.
Oh, wow.
I hope we get to see some of that as well.
Both players just
Drago.
Drago, yeah.
The classic. Oh, I think that was a Gear Seeker Serpent.
It was.
And that's a way to finish a game.
Yeah, that's the card. I mean, I keep looking to see show up in these blue-white and black-blue matches. It's really the thing that can just clear away through. But there's the Fumigate. Another card we've been talking about a lot. Look at this.
Yeah, and gain 9 life.
Wow. And get really your game breaker there in the Gear Seeker Serpent.
Yeah, it looked like Alexei Isupov was just drawing blanks, but yeah, he was just slow rolling and Fumigate and waiting for Yin Yu to commit something to the board.
Follows up. Wow, with a glint sleeve artisan, he really was. And wow, a servo exhibition. So goes from kills everything and now has 5 points of power on the board.
Yeah, and Yin Yu really overextended there. Now has no follow up. Has to take 5 here. Usually 1/1s are not that impressive, and people hold back creatures. And a Wisp Weaver
Here comes
Angel.
a Wisp Weaver Angel to reset the glint sleeve artisan, get another servo.
That was a good draw. Just a thriving turtle.
Thriving turtle.
Yeah, it looks like Alexei Isupov will be able to even this out.
Right, sends in everybody. Turtle blocks the glint sleeve.
Take 8.
Takes 8 though. Wow. Yeah, falls to 14.
Yeah, down 9 already because there was no change in life till the last round. So at the last turn, our life total update was a little slow.
I gotcha. So we're down to 9 here.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a very bad blocker.
I've drawn that card in this situation.
Yeah, it just feels like such pain.
But in this case, it can block.
At least you can trade with the angel, yeah. But like, there's still so much damage coming through.
That's like the best case scenario for that card.
You would have preferred if it could block one of the ground blockers first. But yeah.
Wow. Okay. And Alexei Isupov evens this up. One game apiece here. We got 2 game 3s going on. If Russia takes either of them, they win the match. Yeah,
and remember, both teams are still undefeated. Both teams picked up a draw, but still being at 3 wins and a draw is very decent. And we get to see the start of this game.
Oh wow!
Now the Russia just needs to pick up 1 game only, where China has to win both games to win. Yeah, looks like they're
looks like
helping each other.
So there's some mulliganing going on here.
Yeah. There might be some moves as well, you know. Nikita Jurečka might have been moving his chair to be closer with his teammates. This is one of the things that I really like about the Team GP the week before the World Magic Cup. Not only you get like so many good players, which are only natural for this very skill-intensive format, but also you get to see the countries, you know, joining in. It's great, and next year is going to be even better with 2 team events around the World Magic Cup.
All right. Alexander has the first play. Plays Narm Cobra.
Now remember, this is the match where we expect to only see creatures with more power than toughness. And so far, so good.
Spider-Side Infiltrator for Ong Lee. Then you see these pauses now, you know, players are now starting to consult with each other.
That's why the pace of play has slowed down a little bit. Maybe Alexei Spov has some decisions to do, like a mulliganing or something.
Fairground Trumpeter. With no ways to gain counters anywhere in sight.
Yet. That's the important bit.
The card can get out of hand very quickly. Though against a black-red deck, probably not as scary as it is against some other decks.
Yeah, 3-mana 2/2 is not the most impressive stats. But we'll see what Ang Lee is going to put together here.
Okay, you see a hand come in from the side. I'd like you to play the Oval Chase Daredevil. Okay.
Yeah, well, Yu Chen Liu is by far the most experienced player on the Chinese team, and since his match is already finished, he can help out Ang, and even Yin Yu in the middle there, just sitting between them, I assume.
Okay, we talked about counters, so High Spire Artisan comes down, decides to put a +1/+1 counter on, and that at the end of the turn means he gets to put another counter, or a counter, on Fairground Trumpeter, because a creature gained a +1/+1 counter.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I like this interaction. I love it with Thriving Rhinos and Thriving Grubs and
but
whatnot.
also with the Fabricate creatures.
Works very well. Pima Outrider, yeah. Daredevil swinging in, and we've seen it again. And by the way, not only did Alexander Semkin do the combo breaker by playing creature with same power as toughness, he added creature with toughness actually to the board, which is nice to see. But we talked about this. It might be a part of the sideboarding. High Spire Artisan is usually not a card that's that great in red-green because it's just way too defensive. But he might have decided, okay, Ang Lee's the aggro deck. I'm going to be the control deck. And now both teams deep in conversation about what to do. I have a look at the table there, and just both players, their heads are 10 centimeters away from each other, and they're just whispering their plans to each other.
Besides, Narnum Cobra is worth a trade here, but wow. Oh man, Bizarre Barge, draw a card, get my Oval Chase Daredevil back.
Yeah, and it fits so nicely with the Spider-Side.
And it climbs right onto the Bizarre Barge next turn.
Yeah, Spider-Side Infiltrator is just begging for it. Just let me on this thing.
Yeah. And this is one of the things you can do with this deck too, is like he can just crew that at the end of his opponent's turn, even though it's summoning sick, you know, and just get an extra point of damage in there.
And that's why the Night Market Lookout is so good. Like we've seen, Marshall and Luis malign that card a little bit in draft as just a 1/1 with a low board impact. But these sorts of black-red deck, it's really shining, especially if you pick up those Sky Skiffs.
Right.
Just keep pinging away.
Yeah, your opponent often will have ways to deal with the Sky Skiffs in combat.
Yeah, exactly.
Very limited ways to deal with them if they're just sort of passively doing their thing. All right, only 3 lands for Semkin here, and that's been true for a while.
Another Trumpeter.
Another Trumpeter.
Like he has a plan, but I think he needs to untap and just do something with +1/+1 counters.
And we see Ang Lee decides, I would like my Bizarre Bird to briefly become a creature at the end of your turn. Take 1 from when the Spireside Infiltrator becomes tapped. 6 land.
And this is a little awkward for Semkin. He cannot find any. Good double block among his creatures. It's either a 2-for-1 or anything like that. So the barge will, I'm sure, will swing in for 5 here.
Yep.
Plus the 1.
As if on cue. Oh, you see, he tapped it, attacked, and then his teammate said, "Don't forget the point."
Yeah.
From the infiltrator, and now,
yeah.
Again, we're seeing universal hand language here.
You have to be careful about these sort of things. But yeah, as you can see, Alexander Semkin takes it. But it seemed like.
But he didn't get.
The trigger was missed.
The trigger was missed.
Yeah.
Should be a 13 if. I had sort of seen that, kind of one of the interesting. Oh, why didn't you do that?
Yeah. No, but that's what teammates are for as well.
Yeah.
They're there to remind you about these things. And look at that. The Daredevil makes an appearance again. And a sky skiff.
There's a sky skiff.
Yeah. Speak of the devil.
Alexander Semkin just wants to see a 4th land here. There it is.
So does he have something with +1/+1 counters?
How about a Hunt the Week? That's my guess.
Ooh. Oh.
How about a Furious Reprisal?
Good. Very good.
Wow.
That was a swing and a half there. Furious Reprisal taking care of both creatures. Now just swing in.
Wow, look at this turn for Semkin. The 4th land unlocked the Furious Reprisal. Now both of Ang Lee's vehicles are locked.
Yeah. But yeah, Ang Lee still has plenty of cards, but now he has to decide if he wants to keep his creatures back and his vehicles, or if he still wants to stay aggressive. That was a blowout. This is one of the spots where Furious Reprisal is really nice against these high power, low toughness decks. Get the value, 2-for-1, boom.
7th land for Ang Lee. Oh, wow. Look at this card, Morpho
Great.
Squad.
It's nice because it gives him 2 creatures.
And both of those creatures can crew.
Perfect combination
Perfectly.
of power of toughness, yeah.
He gets his, oh my gosh, of course. It's his Daredevil back.
Look, he's attacking. He's swinging.
Wow, swings for 7 here.
Yeah, this is a race.
Yeah.
Another Furious Reprisal? Or Chandra's Pyro Helix?
Swamp make obsolete.
Yeah. There's a mountain from Semkin. I think I saw Riparian Tiger in his hand, but I'm sure he has other things going on there. He's already consulting with his teammate Nikita.
He really wants to Hunt the Week here.
Oh, yeah, well.
I think he has another Furious Reprisal in his hand.
Think so?
I do.
But I think at this point he just has to decide if he wants to leave something back. He doesn't have a 2-turn clock. He only has 6 power as well, so
right.
He might. That's a tough spot. You can also Furious Reprisal, just the Malphus squad. Leave the highest power artisan back and just attack with the 2 trumpeters afterwards. That would put Ang Lee down to 7, which is also not ideal, so no, I don't like that plan.
Alexander talking with his teammates.
Oh, okay. That's a lot of damage. Latin Nuhelion, 3 mana 4/4 haster.
And he's gonna keep his high spire artisan back, but get in with everybody else.
Oh, this is 9 damage, so quite decent here for Alexander Semkin. This is truly a race.
But he needs, if Ang Lee has another creature, he's coming in for quite a bit because he can crew with something else and still get in with that Malphus squad.
Yeah, definitely the Malphus squad will most likely get through. because it has menace. And we know he has the Daredevil that he can use to... he also has the Welding Sparks.
Wow, Welding Sparks to take down the High Spire Artisan.
Yeah, it was a risky play from Semkin.
This needs to be a Chandra Pyro Helix here
Yeah.
to have a hope of
Yeah.
winning this game.
Or some Pump Spell. Ornament, Courage, Blossoming
Sure.
Defense.
Sure. Talking it through. Okay, it's going to die, it looks like.
Or no, it is.
What is he going to follow? No, he passes the turn.
Well, let's see.
That's dangerous.
Very much so. Might just be over for the Russian captain here. Show us your card, Zhang Li.
He's like, no.
But it's also a little risky as well on his side of the board. If Alexander Semkin does have something, swinging with both vehicles, it just exposes him. He can only then block with the Daredevil, which puts him to dead. But he has an Eco Construct.
Eco Construct, both players scry. On pushes.
Ooh.
Oh. Alexander keeps his on top. Here's the Oval Chase Daredevil.
I think this should be enough. Just use the creatures.
Yeah. He's going to crew both his vehicles.
This is also, I mean, I don't think there's anything that Alexander can do except maybe Ornamental Courage.
Ornamental Courage would let him live, but no. That's that match. Ang Lee wins 2-1. That means the greater match is tied now. And it's really going to come down to this game 3 here between, oh, wow, look at this.
Oh no.
Between Alexei Yusupov and Yin Yu. And this is kind of where we left them.
Yeah, the grind is on. But look, Yin Yu's only
at
4.
4.
Yeah.
He's at 4.
Yeah, and look at their Alexei Yusupov really went wide here. He has already 3 servers and a Chief of the Foundry. Also a Dukar Scavenger. He just went as wide as possible, and it could be enough for Yusupov. But the problem is, Inu has a Contraband Kingpin as well as a Prakata Pillar Bug. So his blockers are actually very nice against the army of Yusupov there.
Again, players are, when you see them pointing at their cards, they're not talking to their opponent, they're talking to their teammates.
I wonder if the Serpent is in play or in the graveyard. It's not exactly clear. I don't see his deck.
Certainly doesn't look in play.
No, it's probably in the graveyard. Yeah, this is where you see things really slowing down.
Oh, yeah.
Left deciding match, game 3.
3 heads.
3 heads. Neither player wants to make a mistake. Yeah.
See Chief of the Foundry hanging out there in the back by those servos.
Really helping out. Alexei Yusupov has the advantage of having the Skyscroll Harrier, even though it's matched pretty well by the Dukar P-Foul, but any sort of tricks can take care of that.
Okay. There's a Dund Operative. Passes the turn back.
More Pillar Bugs.
Just passes the turn.
Yusupov might be setting up for a Fumigate again. We've seen it before.
Oh, right.
It was
right.
In game 2 where Alexei Yusupov just
Oh,
played.
he does. The Serpent was in play. Activates, gets in for 5.
That's a clock. Yeah, the problem is Yusupov can't really target into those lifelink creatures, even though he does have plenty of 2-2 servos.
Lifelink, some Death Touch.
Yeah.
You know, the possibility of subtle strike, rush of vitality, things he has to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. But look, he has quite a few cards in his hand. Maybe he's just slow rolling here a little bit, trying to set up a better hand for a Fumigate. We don't quite see everything he has in his hand.
All right. Come in again with the Serpent.
And that's how these decks win games.
There's a Filigree familiar.
Doesn't give away Fumigate yet. You know, it's a card you don't mind cashing in on.
Absolutely not.
Ooh, but Yin is leaving back quite a bit. He has a Restoration Gearsmith in his hand too, so if the worst were to happen, he can bring stuff back.
And you play very differently post Fumigate reveal in the subsequent games.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure that's a big part of their conversations. It's like, no, I'm not going to play this guy. He has a Fumigate in his deck. Even I don't speak Chinese, but I'm pretty sure that's what they've been saying.
He is looking at his Restoration Gearsmith, though. See a Die Young in his hand. Starting to see some cards.
Plenty of good cards, yeah. He just has to be careful about removal spell from Isupov, taking care of the P-Foul, for example, which would enable the Harrier to swing in, or something that would deal with his lifelink creatures.
He's like, okay, we're going to go with the Die Young. That's the plan.
So we're going to kill the Glint-Sleeve Artisan.
Interesting.
Well, it doesn't have any more energy. I'm pretty sure he would have preferred to kill the Harrier or the Chief of the Foundry.
But just really wants to keep the army as small as possible from having it run wide around him.
I'm sure Alexei Sova wouldn't also mind like an Inspired Chart or anything, but I don't see a Fumigate though in his hand just yet.
He got Yin-Yu down to 4, but he has not been able to finish the job.
Yet. That's the key part. Yeah, and, I think Yin-Yu's keeping the Subtle Strike as well in his hand. Pillar Bug it is.
All right.
A 3/4 Pillar Bug.
3/4 lifelinking sometimes Pillar Bug.
Indeed.
But Isapov's going to go down to 4 here. At least.
Yeah.
There's a Subtle Strike in hand.
And both players counting the number of creatures, monitoring very carefully. They want to make sure they leave up the right amount of mana.
Right colors of mana. All right.
4/4. Lawless Broker. Let's see Fumigate. Alexei Sapov. Your opponent tapped out. It's just the plains. And I don't think he has the Fumigate in his hand.
No. We reach the point where he considers just attacking with everything. See what happens.
Well, yeah, he can figure it out by himself quite fast.
Yeah. P-Foul can't fly.
Just yet.
Yeah.
He doesn't
have any islands attached.
He does on top of the screen. Just hit.
Okay. I see
almost
those two
out of
lands.
sight.
Yeah. So he can lifelink and fly his guys.
Exactly. So I'm sure he's happy about that. So there's Pillar Bug. Just the Pillar Bug attacking. He just wants to get out of Gear Seeker Serpent range.
Well, that's an extra card draw for him.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That gives him one more turn to draw Fumigate.
Yeah, now he's like, oh, I can block with my 2 lifelinkers. Yeah, that's what. You should definitely block with a Kingpin as well. Well, Yin-Yu is also holding up the Subtle Strike, so. Yeah, one play against 3, the other one gains 1. Oh, Oh,
Interesting. This
should be at 7 live
should be
here.
at 7. Yeah.
Because there's a chief of the foundry. They might the players might have forgotten themselves about this. It's actually quite relevant because then you could put a counter on his Gear Seeker Serpent and finish it off.
Right.
If Alexei miscounted his life total there.
All right. Lines up his mana. Says, okay, here I come.
So down to 1.
Is it a Fumigate? What did you draw?
I think he drew a white card. No.
No.
No, it looks like, is he packing up? Yeah, he's packing up. There's the handshake.
Wow.
All right.
And he shows him the Restoration Gearsmith in hand. He's like, I would have just gotten the Gear Seeker Serpent back. Probably had enough mana to play both anyway.
Yeah, it would have been over anyway. I mean, Fumigate would have gained a lot of life.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think Alexei Saba also had something in his hand still.
So Yin Yu wins the match, and that means China won that match over Italy there. And now we are going to look at Team Italy versus Team Italy.
Yeah, I'll try my hand at those names. Pretty confident with Matteo More is the easy one, but Francesco Cipoleschi.
I could do Marco Camiluzzi.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Francesco Cipoleschi, Riccardo Picchiafuochi, and Raffaele Zaccarelli.
And Alessandro Potaro.
Yeah, he's missing an R though in his name there. Yeah, Matteo More really on a hot streak.
Yeah, coming off a 9th place finish at Pro Tour Kaladesh. He was playing the Aetherworks Marvel deck.
And then a GP top 8
Yeah.
just only 2 weeks later in Warsaw.
Three GP top 8s in his career already.
Yeah.
Only been playing for a very short time.
Exactly, yeah.
He's only been playing for about 2 or 3 years now.
Indeed.
All right. Helix. Gets an appointed damage too, I assume.
Yeah. No, he actually waited for Francesco to use his energy.
Okay.
It's actually a really interesting dynamic that the red-green deck really wants a lot of energy. So Matteo, he would rather waste the energy rather than deal 1 damage to Francesco. Again, battle of the aggressive decks. More power than toughness. It's really interesting how this lines up in the format. And pass on 4 mana. That's suspicious already, but it looks like I think Francesco mulligan because he has so few cards. He has 2
absolutely.
lands in his hand only. This total, yeah. I think he might have mulliganed twice. So let's see if Matteo Mora can punish Francesco here for that.
So another player from Pro Tour Kaladesh playing here, Makis Mousakis, who we saw make his first top 8.
And I loved when he was interviewed and he said, the World Magic Cup is the best tournament in the year. He was really excited about potentially being the captain.
Yeah.
There's still a long way to go, but getting a semifinals at the PT really helps.
But Bill Chronopoulos is going to get another shot at that this year.
Exactly, yeah. I mean,
curious to see how his where his inspiration level is now, to
yeah,
catch.
he's like, yeah, Marquez, I'm going to get you. But he can also win a WMCQ, which would be nice. Servant of the Conduit for Francesco, though. If he had something to accelerate into, it would be great. But so far, that's one big problem in this format with the aggressive deck, especially if you're on the 15, 16 landers, is the fact that if you mulligan, like, your win percentages go down a lot. Just because it's much harder to recover, especially in these aggressive deck mirror matches. As we see a Fleet Wheel Cruiser.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Ugh.
Just comes in, says, if you'd like to double block, you are welcome to. I will take that trade every day.
Francesco just has to take this. That is not going to get better in the following turns. Once the Spires have infiltrated the cruiser.
It's gonna crew it at the end of this turn anyway, right?
True. You can crew tap vehicles.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter that it's out of gas. It's a key to the city.
Oh, that card's great. Not great here, but a great card.
No, yeah, it's good when you're on the attacking side, but at least it will allow Francesco to get rid of the land he has in his hand, maybe draw some good card.
Ruinous Gremlin? He was considering there.
That's a card I wouldn't expect to see in the main decks. And Trusty Companion as well in a red-white aggressive deck for Matteo More. It can work if your curve is cheap enough.
But he's also got a Snare Thopter. He's also got a Propeller Pioneer. Besides the Trusty Companion's the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, it can jump into the...
I was just going to say it has Pseudo Haste here. Gives Menace. Cruise the vehicle.
It just swings in.
Swings in with everybody. Says take one when I attack.
Yeah,
did he miss the crew one at the end of his?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, double block on the monitor. Kills both. Yeah.
Double block scoop.
Yeah, it's like damage result. All right, I'll scoop my cards. It wasn't even waiting on anything.
That was like on Magic Online when you go to block, you're not sure quite. I don't know. You block, and then there's a point of trample damage you forget, and they're just like, no, you lost. You're like, ah. All right, Matteo More is up 1-0 here. And I think we're going to take a look next.
And Marco Camiluzzi against Riccardo Picchiafuochi. Yeah, Picchiafuochi. And white-black against blue-white. It's almost I don't know if it's coincidence, but I have a feeling the red decks keep playing against each other, the blue decks keep playing against each other, and the green ones. People
do end up having tendencies where the decks end up in the seat sometimes. You'll see, I've seen in past players want to have the fastest deck in the middle seat so that the player can be done and help the most teammates. So self-assembler.
How many do you have, Marco Camiluzzi?
I think we have a question of whether or not this is resolving.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, it resolves. He's like, all right, I'm not searching.
What is going on here?
I don't know. This should be a very talkative match for the hand camera. Language.
Definitely, yeah. But I'm sure the mouths are going at full speed as well.
Okay. Card P-File goes in the air. Attacks for 2. Picchiafuochi is down here, score-wise. He's 13. He's got some catching up to do. But whittles Camiluzzi down a little in the air. I've been shocked by the number of solo self-assemblers we've seen so far.
Yes. I mean, you would think that you just have to open more out of 12 packs, but it just happens. As I said to Brian during the break, when we practiced Team Seal for the World Magic Cup, we only opened 1 Prophetic Prism in a whole box, and 3 Team Seals.
Wow.
Which certainly has a big impact on how you build decks. It's such a key card in some of the archetypes.
Okay, here comes the self-assembler.
I think we're going to see a Visionary Augmenter from Marco Camiluzzi. He also has an Eager Construct as well. He might be slow rolling a Fumigate as well because he has so many cards in his hand. And when you see a player with 7 lands, and you see he just didn't play anything, it just makes you really suspicious. It's like a white deck with 5 cards in hand and 8 lands on the board.
Well,
what is going on?
And then you see Picchiafuochi pump the brakes there.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you go.
Yeah. It looks like he's going to want to block the self-assembler with something. He might end up on a blowout of that Subtle Strike that I think Marco Camiluzzi just drew.
Does he have a Cataclysmic Gearhulk in hand? Yes,
Yep.
he does.
Yep. That might be the reason.
And here it is, Cataclysmic Gearhulk.
All right, so what does that do? Each player gets to keep... and he's like, yeah, I'm going to keep my malfunction. Yeah, so each player chooses an artifact, a creature, enchantment, and a planeswalker, and then sacrifices the rest. I love the old Cataclysm, but that worked also on lands.
Yes.
This one doesn't,
yes.
Fortunately. That was always a blowout.
So he's trying to decide which to keep.
Yeah, so he's going to probably keep the Gear Hulk as an artifact and the Assembler as a creature. Yeah, they're probably just deciding like who chooses first. Yeah, the hands are strong. That was an aerial responder under the malfunction. Yeah, the server's gone as well.
So the P-Foul and the Glint Sleeve Artisan are what's going to stick around here.
It didn't really change that much, but now
Fragmentized takes out the P-Foul. Yeah, and then the self-assembler is able to get in for 4.
Yeah, you could see Marco knew that Ricardo would keep those two because together they could block the self-assembler with only one creature dying. So, yeah, then punished with the Fragmentize. And now also a Skywheel shot.
Wow, look at this.
Boom.
Skywheel shot takes down the Gear Seeker Serpent, and that's going to be the game. Marco Camiluzzi goes up 1-0 in his match. And so they're up. The Italians are up one game in each of their 2 first matches. And
yeah, we're going to head on over back to Matteo Moura against Francesco Cipoleschi. And their game 2.
And they're already underway here.
Yeah, there we go.
Seeing a Tune with Ether and a Thriving Grubs for energy in play for Cipoleschi. And then a Veteran Motorist on turn 2 for More.
That card is so sweet. The fact that you get to scry too.
You should not be able to play a 3-1 beater and get to scry.
Exactly.
It just feels at cross purposes.
Yeah. And spoilers, I saw a pro team, a team with 3 Platinum Pros, with 2 Platinum Pros and a Gold player, have 2 DePaulis and 2 Veteran Motorists.
Oh my God.
As well as a PNLR.
But no vehicles in their pool.
There are some vehicles in their pool. It's very hard to not get any vehicles. It's possible, but quite unlikely.
Yes. Okay, so 3rd land for Francesco.
Just a pass. Yeah, that's weird. Look at that. Like, Matteo already has a Renegade Freighter and a Salivated Gremlin, Chandra's Pyro Helix. I think he's cried a spell to the bottom and kept the land on top because he only had 2. Yeah.
So here's Renegade Freighter.
You know what's worse than a train at 5-4 getting into? It's like it's a 6-5 train with the Veteran Motorist activation. That's just disgusting.
I see that More is holding a Chandra's Pyro Helix. Oh, a Bristling Hydra.
It's a good card, but I think the Renegade Freighter is just better. Yeah. I mean, at least you can activate the Hydra twice. There was a tune with Ether on turn 1, then the Grubs, now the Hydra. Francesco's deck looks very solid. Yeah. So, crew, attack. It's a 6-5 now. The Trampler. And Matteo is just hand chock full of cards.
I mean, that's what happens when you only draw 3 lands.
Yeah. Like Francesco could have tried to trade, but he would had to block. He used 3 energy to pump up the Hydra to a 5-4. And then hope that he doesn't have to activate it one more time. So I just think he just took the damage and went down to 14.
Yep, that's what he did. And Salivating Gremlins comes down post-combat from Matteo Moore. Yeah, Snare Thopter also in hand for Malray.
He doesn't have the 4th line though just yet. He's still digging for that one, but he'll be fine. His hand seems solid. He also has an impeccable timing, I think.
Yeah, and the Chandra's Pyro Helix.
Ooh, that's good though. Hunt the Weak.
Hunt the Weak. Yep. So it puts a counter on the Hydra. Wow, look at this.
Now we race.
Yeah, I would like to fight with you.
That's an attack for 8. Yeah.
Wow. Drops Laurie to 12 here.
But I love these racy games. It's so interesting to see the swings and light rules, and it really rewards the players knowing how to play correctly, knowing when to expose their defenses.
Well, like this now,
exactly.
He's exposing himself right here by spending himself down below 3 energy.
Yeah.
He can't save his Hydra if something were to happen to it right now, but feels like he needs that extra point of damage right
exactly.
now.
Yeah. And the fact is Matteo Moore being only on 3 mana If Matteo wants to play defensively, he's probably not developing his board that well, maybe tapping out. So if Francesco has any sort of follow-ups afterwards, it makes complete sense to pump the Hydra here.
Looks like he drew a Spireside Infiltrator.
So now does Matteo Mora want to swing back for 8? Well, 9 with the Spireside Infiltrator trigger. With the Snare Topter still in his hand.
That he hopes to be able to cast at some point. What is the play?
Matteo has a lot of options. That's part of the problem.
Could also, maybe he's thinking about killing the Thriving Grubs and then just keeping his race going here.
Yeah, he could try that. He could definitely swing back for a 6 and kill the Grubs with the Pyro Helix, or just try to kill with impeccable timing. But if he wants to raise, I think he should just go for the Infiltrator, because he also has the Pyro Helix, which can go face if he needs it to. And even though this is a swing for only 9 with the Infiltrator trigger, putting him down to 5 is actually quite relevant. And even if Francesco attacks with everything, then next turn Matteo could be defensive and just try to use the Infiltrator and then finish off the game with the Helix and the Snare Topter. So he definitely has a plan.
See him talking to his teammates about the different options for crewing the vehicle here, but decides to go with the Spireside Infiltrator.
Now we also had an update from match 3 where Alessandro Portaro down a game on Raffaele Taccarelli. So putting the pressure firmly on the lesser known Italians here on our right. Alright, so he went for it. I think Francesco's down to 5 here.
Yep, there it is. Plays a land.
Okay, but now, okay, that's an extra damage, so 6 power, that's 10, I think that's lethal. Yeah, he's just going to swing, put on the energy.
Wow, look at that.
Swing for 11 exacties.
Wow.
Francesco didn't need much there, and Matteo Mora was just trying to play, I don't think he would have won the game if he had played the turn defensively.
But interestingly, you said, got him exactly.
Yeah.
He needed that 1 point of damage from the Bristling Hydra the turn before, where he sort of put it at risk. I mean, it's a pretty minimal risk.
Yeah.
But you see people often with the Bristling Hydra really just kind of like keep that 3 energy in their pocket at all times.
Yeah. On the other hand, it's also quite hard for us to judge if something was correct because we don't see all the cards that our players have. We do our best at trying to discern what they have, but sometimes it's hard. And I know what's in play for Marco Camiluzzi, an aerial responder.
And a visionary augmenter now.
That's a curve.
Going wide.
Yeah.
You see there's a disappearing act in the graveyard.
Shrewd negotiation.
Shrewd negotiations. I would like to trade you this prophetic prism at common for your uncommon.
Nice.
Wow, that is.
And I like it. It looked like Ricardo played the turn 2 prophetic prism, then played turn 3 disappearing act, returning the prism. So
Very nice.
He's got the card advantage, but now he's got the responder as well.
Yeah.
Swinging the life total back in his advantage. I love shrewd negotiation if it works.
And there's a malfunction.
Great way to deal with Daredevil.
That's a perfect card for the Daredevil.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen it do so much work, and malfunction is just a great card against it.
Yeah, you really want to revoke privileges or malfunction are really
For
the
sure.
only 2 sort of long-term answers for it. See another cataclysmic Gear Hulk. Probably the same one.
Yeah, of course, but like now, and this spot is not that great, and Ricardo is really putting on a show here.
Cloud Blazer. Draw 2 cards, gain 2 life.
Puzzle Knot? Yeah, I think it's Cogworker's Puzzle Knot.
Cogworker's Puzzle Knot, okay.
But now Marco is developing his board better, and the Gear Hog also will enable him to put the Daredevil in the graveyard.
Oh, very nice.
Which is sometimes can be a problem. So underhanded designs, active.
Yes.
Another great card with Cataclysmic Gearhulk. Oh, you keep in this one? Okay, I'll just blow it up. Well, also you get, it's an artifact creature, so you also get a trigger, and you get to drain your opponent.
No player in any danger right now, life total wise, 20 to 22. So he's just thinking about firing off the underhanded designs right now.
I mean, it could enable him to attack with his, at least his augmenter, but I'm also not sure if he wants to do that, so. Yeah, it's a tough spot. Ooh. So we shake a little. Don't get seasick.
Okay.
Deal?
Deal. Passes the turn. Plays land. Attacks with the aerial responder.
Take 2.
Yep.
And both
I think he just played 2 lands.
It's possible. Yeah. This is a time shifted match though.
Yeah.
So we can't do anything about this one. We'll see if it's gonna matter. Tether's Gambit though, a great card as we talked about in a slow grindy matchup. And the rest of his hand looking solid. I also see a Glimmer of Genius, a Filigree Familiar. I think a Skywelder shot. Here comes the self-assembling. Yeah.
Yep. Drain you for 1.
Does he have another one?
I don't think he does. Oh, no, he does. He does.
He does. Okay. That would be very disappointing if he didn't.
Right, when we picked up the last game, he may have already had one in his graveyard, or
true.
He did not search for one last time. Glimmer of Genius.
Land being the extra land being relevant here for Ricardo. At least we think. So many cards for Ricardo though.
Plays the planes, gets in for 4 in the air.
I think Marco will be forced to pull the trigger quite soon. Especially as just adding to
Another
the
malfunction.
And a
Plays a Filigree Familiar. Okay.
It's like I don't really want a Gear Hog here. He gets to draw a card. That's not fair.
Okay. Propeller Pioneer now.
I mean, Marco has to probably hold back creatures if he ever wants to go for that Gear Hulk.
Needs to get a little bit of a stockpile going in hand.
Yep.
I find the Cataclysmic Gear Hulk tough to really, much tougher than the other Gear Hulks in terms of
to make it work,
getting the optimal window to play.
No, I absolutely agree. We had this discussion with Tim Willoughby, our coverage colleague, 2 weeks ago in Warsaw, where we always felt like, we're going to pick it very highly because it's just an efficient card, but it really doesn't go into many decks, and it's hard to make it. It's hard to make it really work.
All right, but Marco's making it work. Here's the Gear Hulk. He's going to keep Gear Hulk and Visionary Augmenter. Sky Whaler Shot is going to attempt to take it down.
He's going to maneuver it.
He's hoping for probably a better outcome from maneuvering it, but...
Yeah. But the problem is, like, if he... Oh, he won't... He probably is going to...
Yep.
I think he just wanted to maneuver his augmenter.
His augmenter, yeah, absolutely.
With the underhanded designs and get some drains going, get the 2 artifacts.
That's gross.
Another
third malfunction.
Jeez.
Augmenter trades with the Filigree Familiar.
That's gross. But at least Marco, once he untaps, he'll get to play a Propeller Pioneer, and he'll get to use the underhanded designs to kill off the aerial responder finally. But this game is going to go long for sure.
Cogworker's Puzzle Knot from Ricardo. And here comes the Propeller Pioneer.
Fabricate. Pay 1.
Yep. Drain you. Get back my Oval Chase Daredevil. Play Oval Chase Daredevil.
This is a match of haymakers, and it looks like it's looking like it will bog down again. I really like Ricardo's deck though, like the 3-color. It looks like a 3-color deck at least, with the prisms and giving prisms to your opponent and whatnot. It's pretty sweet. Then when you can pull this off, especially with Shrewd Negotiation.
So still, just all that damage has come from Marco's own aerial responder.
Yeah, exactly, on both sides of the table.
Yeah. Okay, attacks with the Oval Chase Daredevil. Now he's going to play a self-assembler. Drain for 1.
Yeah, that's why Ricardo didn't block the Daredevil. He especially knew about another self-assembler there. Okay,
Fragmentize. Yep,
right.
takes out the P-foul. But Aether Tradewind's going to save my P-foul. And, yep, just like blank one of your servos.
No, it's good. It's good. I mean, you get to kill 1/1. It doesn't sound great, but it's actually decent.
Finally, the aerial responder is going to die.
Yeah.
Underhanded Designs has had enough.
Yeah, self-assembler and cataclysmic gear.
Wow, look at that.
Jeez.
What a recovery from that cataclysmic gear hold.
Yeah. He was kind of expecting it, but there's a Skywell shot.
And that was on upkeep for Kamaluzzi, so he got the best of kill it. Also get to look, sort of curate my draw step. See his opponent, his teammate come in, lean like, oh, I want to take a peek.
Yeah, it was like an extra hand showing up out of nowhere.
Thing from the Addams family.
Yeah, exactly. There was a trade of the self-assembler killed the P-foul after it was triple blocked together with the 2 servos. The board cleared up quite enough, and there are more servos for Ricardo.
Servo exhibition. All right, keep swinging. Kamaluzzi is on the attack, plays an eager construct. Ricardo cannot wait to push that card to the bottom. Couldn't quite see what Kamaluzzi
He
did.
just needs some power.
That Skywell shot was huge. Oh, wow. Eighth of meltdown.
And a double block on the construct.
Okay.
And it takes
But
2.
he still gets in for 2 with the Propeller Pioneer.
Yeah, Matteo had a tidy conclusion which he could have used there at that double block, but decided not to. He's just going to keep back his Daredevil, the Ether Meltdown, making the Daredevil into 1/2. Oh, no, it's actually -4, -0, right? So it's a 0/2 even. Oh.
Wow, a Cloud Blazer here.
Yeah, look how few cards he has in his library. It was like 4 or 5 cards only. Is Ricardo Pika Fukuoki going to get
another deck? Have we seen like 3 deckings
Yeah.
so far?
And Marco has a Essence Extraction to go with both players up to 11. He's still swinging though. Yeah. It's like that was 2 life. They're probably now arguing if Ricardo announced the trigger.
That's what they're doing. All right. Get in with 2 servos.
Yeah, one's gonna get blocked by that Daredevil though. So Ricardo's clock is certainly slower.
Another Serpent, but that gets taken down by the Tidy Conclusion.
And gain some life.
Get
This
in for
smash.
2. Yeah. He's fighting him on 2. He just needs some Infect cards here. He can get the trifecta.
Okay, so it is another Serpent. What?
Wow,
That's why he plays all these servo exhibitions.
Yeah,
it makes
I like
sense now.
Ricardo's deck.
Yeah, I don't really like a servo exhibition in these blue-white decks, but if you can make it work with like prisms and stuff, yeah, it's great.
It's just like, yeah, you do have 3 Serpents. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, there's a Scrap Heap Scrounger for Marco there. It can't block, but it's a nice artifact to keep around. Nice combo with the Daredevil.
Yeah. All right. Pays for the Serpent to attack.
Pays it for it again.
Wow.
Does he have any cards? No, he doesn't have any cards left. Yeah, He was just one life short. He just ran out of cards.
Wow, Marco Camillucci wins 2-0, and that means the match goes to Italy. That's it here for round 5 of Grand Prix Rotterdam. We'll be back as soon as we can with more live Magic. Players are already sitting down.